I'm so bad at talking to a camera. Anyway. We didn't really record much on the trip coming home. We were tired, worn out, frustrated, just trying to get home. Everything seemed to go wrong. But here's some of what we did get.
Well, hello, folks. Well, I seem to have goofed up. Watching the news and the weather on Sunday and part of Monday, it looked like the storm was going to hit the Midwest and be the worst on Wednesday. So I decided to push our leave date back a day so that we'd come in through a day after the storm, kind of like we did on the way down. But I didn't learn my lesson on the way down because that storm slowed down also. Well, this storm did the same thing, and now we're stuck in Paducah, Kentucky, waiting it out. I don't want to try and drive across Missouri in a snowstorm. If it was just me and I was younger, sure, why not? What does it matter? But I got a family to think about, and so as painful and frustrating as it is, it's best to stay another day in a hotel. Get there safely a day late. But we came through this way because my favorite comic book person, I'm a big Superman fan. My favorite superhero, I don't know what Superman is beyond superheroes. He's a different thing. So I'm a huge Superman fan. If you know me, that's true. But just across the border from Paducah, Kentucky is Metropolis, Illinois. And they have the Superman Museum here. And since it's a rainy day, we're going to spend a little bit more time here. We were planning on coming by for maybe an hour today and then hit the road. But since we're staying an extra day, we are going to actually get to spend some time here. The last time we came through here, I've only been here one other time actually in the museum. It was just me and Sharon. Jeremiah may have been a baby, I don't remember, or he had been little. But their heat didn't work and it was 0 degrees. It was bad. So we just kind of ran through the museum real quick and then got back on the road. But today these two are old enough to read the exhibits and kind of look at it, so we're here. We got here at 8 o'clock because on their Facebook it says they open at 8. But on the door here it says 8:30. So we've got about 10 or 15 minutes to waste here. We're just going to sit in the car because it's raining pretty good. Just pulled into Miles City. We left Sioux Falls this morning. We're about an hour and 20 minutes from the house, but let me show you this. We decided to stop and give the Black Pearl a bath because the Black Pearl isn't black anymore. That's from driving through Missouri and part of Illinois. Well, we made it back. That was an adventure. We made it back, got everything unloaded. Caught half of the first half of the Duke game. They're at halftime right now. I'm gonna go finish that. But yeah, that was quite the adventure. A lot of stuff going wrong, and I told Sharon we got sidetracked on a back road because of some closed roads. I said, I trust God's providence. I don't know why He's got us going this way or doing all this different stuff, but we had that in Kentucky, then we got stuck in, had that in Tennessee, then we got stuck in Kentucky, car falling apart, all that stuff. It was a crazy adventure, but I trust God's providence, and I know there was a reason for it. So, that'll be that.
So, I tried to explain some of the housing crisis to people, and I don't know that people really understand what a crisis it is. If you follow any of the Outer Banks groups, especially Hatteras Island, you'll see people talking about how the locals can't afford to live there. It's really a big deal, those beach houses being built or being bought by people. A lot of people who don't even live there, and they're renting them out by the week, but then it drives the price of those houses up. So you can rent a beach house for a week for a couple $1,000s. And so why would somebody rent a house to somebody who's working there for a few $1,000s a month when they can make a couple thousand a week? I mean, logistically that makes sense and you understand it, but it's really hard for people trying to live there. KJ and I looked up wages for county jobs that we do, dispatches in Mania, which would be about 60 miles from Avon, and they start dispatchers at $33,000 a year. KJ looked at EMT Basic, and it was like $15 an hour or something. Now, Dare County does know, and their commissioners have said that they are below where they should be on wages, but that means if KJ and I both had full-time jobs and weren't doing any ministry, just working, trying to live there, we could not afford to live there. You couldn't afford the house payment. And so it's a challenge when you're trying to do ministry. You don't know what your budget's going to be. You don't know how to afford a house. You can't show a lender, this is what our salary is, because we don't know. Anyway, one of the things I decided to do when driving across country was take snapshots so you could see the price differences in different places. So I'll show you some screenshots that I took. So this one is in Platte City, Missouri. And it's a nice 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,300 square feet. And if you'll look, it's $183 per square foot. So that's pretty reasonable. I went back and looked up Granville County, where we're from, and there's a house in Creedmoor for $309,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,600 square feet. It's $178 per square foot. We drove through Franklinton, and it's a little more expensive to live there. There was a $275,000 for a 1,545 square foot home. That was $233 a square foot, and that was on 3/4 of an acre. Land does make a difference. At the beach, those houses are all on very small lots. I mean, less than 1/4 of an acre. Normally, they're listed by square footage. So we looked up Hendersonville, North Carolina, which is where KJ went to Bible college, and we always thought was a pretty expensive place to live. We found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath for $450,000, 1,932 square feet. Now, it was pretty spendy. It was $405 a square foot, but it did come with a decent amount of land. So it had about an acre. But Hendersonville is an expensive place to live. The main difference you'll see is in Hendersonville, you could rent something. There are apartments. Now, it might be expensive. It might be $1,500, $2,000 a month to rent something. But there are things to rent. Down in the Outer Banks, there aren't. If you go out there, there's no long-term rentals. We tried to get on a list. It had 67 people in front of us, is what the lady told us. But when we called, he said, it's so long we're not taking names anymore. When we talked to the lady on the planning board down there in Hatteras, Buxton, wherever their county seat place, county offices place is, I don't know what you call it. There's like a substation for the sheriff's office down there, but she said the locals are just really struggling because you can't. I looked up on Airbnb, and there are actually people who have like their RVs in a lot, and they're renting an RV or a little camper out for $135 a night. And so you do the math on that and what that is a week. It's a lot. And so it's a challenge trying to find a place to live. I wanted to show you comparatively. Most of the properties I had saved in the app of houses I was looking at are probably ones we cannot afford. So one of the houses that was kind of in our price range, or we kind of looked at, is this Porpoise Place. It's on a canal on Soundside. 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's only 576 square feet. They want $349,000 for it. So it's pretty teeny. It is $606 a square foot. The lot it is on is 7,844 square feet. A lot of people have suggested living in an RV, and because of the flood-prone problems that are out there at the Outer Banks, Dare County has ordinances where you can't stay more than 180 days in an RV. And so if we were to do that, we would have to move around. You can get a 6-month or a year lease in an RV park and leave your RV there. And we have talked about that, about trying to live in an RV during the week and do ministry, and maybe go around and supply preach or visit people on the weekends. Because we're not an established church, we have to figure out when the best place and time for church is. So we've talked about trying to do some kind of service or Bible studies during the week to get started. And at least then we'll be on the island.